There is something super serious and secret that I have residing inside this box. Yes, it is a wand, but not just any wand. It is, of course, the Dark Lord's wand. They were reviewing Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, but before that, I just wanted to say, all the slipcovers off here for a reason. I just wanted to acknowledge how beautiful these hardbacks are onto the slipcovers. Like, here's the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone America, and here's the Chamber of Secrets. This one's kind of roughed up, and then here's the Prisoner of Azkaban, another gorgeous one. The Philosopher's Stone, though, it's my favorite slipcover. I'm just gonna put that right there. The Goblet of Fire, some red in these ones. Okay. The Order of the Phoenix, which is kind of probably the ugliest one so far. And then the Half-Blood Prince, which is second gorgeous to the Sorcerer's Stone. It's just purple on black. It's absolutely stunning. And then the final book, The Deathly Hallows. This one is very, modest? I don't know what the word is. So, roll the intro. So today we're going to be reviewing the penultimate and 6th book in the Harry Potter saga, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Of course, before I start any of these, I'd like to say that I do not condone any of J.K. Rowling's pretty much gross behavior. Whether or not what she thinks, I personally disagree. She should definitely keep her opinions to herself and not be posting that stuff on social media. I know this is a couple years past. I just decided to read the books after watching all the movies. But yeah, anyways, so get on with the review. Anything I say about J.K. Rowling, I'm not talking about her as a person. Whether or not she's great, I don't know, nor do I really care. I'm talking about the piece of work she created, because doesn't matter how much you hate her, you can't deny how gorgeous it is. So yeah, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So this one didn't take a lot out of me. It was definitely much easier to get through than the Order of the Phoenix. Quick plot run through. So Harry's still suffering some sort of depression, and he realized that Dumbledore that he can actually confide in Dumbledore much more now. And then and then basically Dumbledore goes to the Dursleys' house, which Harry's still at for some reason, and he's kindly insults, he's so nice and calm, but insults the Dursleys so much, which I find absolutely hilarious. And then we meet a teacher, a new professor that's coming back, called Professor Slughorn, Horace Slughorn. And he is weird. I don't really know what to say about him. He's a lot to take in, because I liked him in the movie better, even though, okay, this is really bugging me. I regret doing that, but I prefer movie version him just because of how, peppy and funny he is, compared to the book version where he's kind of like a seal. I don't know, okay. Compared to the book version to where he's kind of just a grumpy old man, I don't know. He's more irritable, but yeah. He took place over potions, which, yeah. I actually just remembered the actual opening to this book, where it doesn't take place from Harry's point of view. Rather, it takes place from the Prime Minister of London, or Britain, or whatever, who is in contact with Cornelius Fudge, and also the chapter after that is called Spinner's End, and that's where Narcissa Malfoy and Bellatrix Lestrange go to Snape for help. Well, Narcissa does. Bellatrix is just as annoying as ever. And yeah, so basically, when they go to Diagon Alley, because Harry gets sent to the Burrow with Dumbledore, and he apparates for the first time and he hates it. He goes to the Burrow, and then Then they go to Diagon Alley, and then they go to see Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, which is hilarious. I love it so much. I mean, stupid jokes, and like, poo, it's stupid constipation thing. Did those words just come out of my mouth? But yeah, then they follow Malfoy, who went into Borgin and Burke's. She loves tongue twisters, doesn't she? Along with plant names too. Yeah, they follow Malfoy into Borgin and Burke's, and he needs to mend something. And then basically the whole thing is a back and forth between. Well, yeah, okay. So it's Harry trying to get out of going to Slughorn's party because he went there on a train, and yeah, he went there on the train to Hogwarts. Harry and Dumbledore's private lessons were basically they're going into the past of Lord Voldemort. Yeah, and then they find out what Horcruxes are, which I kind of don't really understand why Dumbledore needed that specific memory. It's like, I think he was just making sure it was concrete evidence, maybe. But yeah. And then it was a whole thing where Harry was ordered by Dumbledore to go fetch one of Slughorn's memories, and then he was trying to track down Malfoy to see what he was up to, because he kept disappearing, and his name kept disappearing off the Marauders map. He was trying to escape Slughorn's party, trying to deal with Quidditch practices. He was trying to keep Ron and Hermione from fighting, which Ron kind of becomes a couple with Lavender for like 100 or 200 pages. And Hermione doesn't like that, but whatever. And then there's also another thing about Harry liking Ginny, which I thought was actually much more interesting and compelling in the book than the film. Because it's all awkward in the film. And then in this one, it's just great, great. And then Ron is just... Ron is always great. I don't know about the Deathly Hallows yet, of course, because I haven't read it, but this one probably has the most emotional chapter, which, believe it or not, is not Dumbledore's death. Rather, it's after the burial, when they're talking about Lily and James's death and that stuff, and then I literally started crying. It was so sad and sweet and whatever. I love Hagrid so much again. Yeah, it's definitely the Dawn Before the Storm type film, but yeah, it's just a lot. I actually kind of have a hot take on the Voldemort memory scenes, because I actually wasn't the biggest fan of them, only because I felt like they slowed down the story quite a bit, and they took up quite large chunks. But it was definitely... There were points where it kind of overtook the story, which I felt was kind of... but it wasn't on balance with everything else that's happening in Voldemort's memories, even though that's part of the main plot. And then the Half-Blood Prince thing is like pushed away for at least like 3 chapters, and then comes back out of nowhere. But it also has one of the greatest plot twists of Snape being the Half-Blood Prince, which I thought was really good, even though I knew he was the Half-Blood Prince. It was so, like, who would have seen that coming? And then, yeah, Dumbledore's death, Snape killing Dumbledore, it's brilliantly written. The last chapter, I think it's the last 3, after the lightning-struck tower, what's it called? The Phoenix Lament, and then the Princess... Okay. The Lightning-Struck Tower, the Flight of the Prince, the Phoenix Lament, and the White Tomb. Brilliantly written. I loved the cave, but it once again kind of dragged on. The Horcrux thing, very slow and stuff. But I feel like that the British cover of this is kind of a little tangent, but the British cover of this is so much better than the American cover, only because this one, it shows the main purpose of the story. Actually, no, I take that back. The British cover spoils the big event in the cave, because it's like with fire and stuff. And that doesn't happen until almost the ending. So yeah, no, I take that back. I prefer the American version cover, whatever it's called, of them looking in the pensieve. Which I felt like was definitely well set up. 2 books before it instead of 1 book. Because in the Goblet of Fire, they introduced the Lovegoods, or they said their last name. And then in the Order of the Phoenix, Luna Lovegood became a character. Horcruxes were introduced in the Half-Blood Prince by name, but they were actually introduced in the Chamber of Secrets, which, funnily enough, barely anything was foreshadowed in the Sorcerer's Stone, other than the fact that Voldemort was a big threat. Oh yeah, also one of my biggest gripes about Chamber of Secrets was that there was no mention of Sirius Black or anything. I felt like they definitely should have said something more about Sirius Black other than, I borrowed it from Sirius Black. That's not Hagrid's accent. Where in the Prisoner of Azkaban, Hagrid's like, he's like all mad about it, and he's just talking so, just, you know, the usual. It's so, I kind of found that annoying. She definitely isn't that great at foreshadowing, but this book, the Felix Felicis, and the last few chapters, brilliantly written. I love the cave once again. But something I noticed was how many parallels it had with the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, or the Preposterous Stone from wherever you're from. Because it starts out not from Harry's point of view, but rather a Muggle, which is the Prime Minister, but not that. Also, the Unbreakable Vow. Yeah, one of the things that I absolutely love about it was that, 2 things. J.K. Rowling knows how to make it third person, but still in the point of view of Harry Potter, you know? I found that incredibly interesting. I know that she's not the only one who's done it. I just thought that it was brilliant writing. Whether you like her or disagree with her or whatever, she's still a great writer. And in the Half-Blood Prince, there was discovering new things, that awe, that like dreamlike feeling, which was there in the Order of the Phoenix, but not as prominent in this. Also, Creature is now Harry's elf, which he uses to his great advantage, but also Dobby's here too, and I love that. Number 12 Grimmauld Place is also his place, but he inherited from Sirius, and like, he even said he can't go in there without feeling like terrible grief, guilty, yeah. I don't really know how great to say this book is. It's definitely the best one. I actually thought that I'd be annoyed by the romances. I actually thought, because they were on equal with everything else that was happening, except for Voldemort's memory, which I felt like just took over the story a little bit too much. And yeah, I was like, it was interesting, but not like, it didn't feel like it deserved enough to take over the story. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Albus Dumbledore. Okay, let's go through this real quickly. He was okay. He really wasn't there because, didn't he go to Azkaban or something? No, that was in the first one. Yeah, he was okay. I don't know, I don't remember. Dislike. Kind of like, because the last chapter, loved. It was definitely, unlike Sirius Black, they set up the relationship between he and Harry so perfectly. I was like, even though I didn't cry when Dumbledore died, probably because I knew it was coming, I was still absolutely like, I felt terrible for him, Harry, everyone that was there except for the Death Eaters. But yeah, Snape versus Harry, incredibly interesting. And then my 2 favorite chapters, as said in all of these, were Sectum Sempra and After the Burial. And my close runner-up is The Cave, The Phoenix Lament, The White Tomb, whatever, you know. Yeah, my least favorite chapters, once again, are probably Voldemort's memories. And I know he's some people's favorite character, cough cough, movie Flame Morgan, whatever. But he's probably one of the least interesting characters of the story, because they foremention or whatever that Snape's kind of the same way. I don't know. There was one thing about the memories, though, that I thought were incredibly interesting. And that was how Harry felt sympathetic towards Voldemort. Young Voldemort, Tom Riddle, whatever he's called, like, whatever. But it's just, once again, takes over the story a little too much. But yeah, I don't really know much else to say. I don't want to go on for half an hour for the Order of the Phoenix, but they're writing just so well. I just don't know how to put this. Like, I loved nearly everything about it, except, once again, has pacing issues. But something that I realized, Chamber of Secrets, was that she loved putting paragraph breaks and a lot of M dashes, which, instead of it being that short dash, which is called I forgot what the short one, an N instead of an M, whatever, I don't know what it's called. It's the long one that's like, Stephen King uses them a lot too. He's like, if only I heard, dash, or it's usually something that could be in parentheses. So it's like, if only I heard, which I hadn't, but if only, right? It's basically kind of that. She didn't use that a lot, but I don't think there was a single paragraph break. And she was something that I despise in the Chamber of Secrets was how many time jumps there were, with very little of like a comfortable, concrete explanation. This one, it kind of interweaves it and transition it so perfectly. Yeah, Severus Snape, I like, in the movies he was played by Alan Rickman, so that was a redeeming factor, but in this one he has a beard. So that's not Alan Rickman. Also, I've noticed that I'm differentiating the book variants of the characters from the movies because, yeah, they're like completely two different people at this point. In the first one, yeah, they're kind of the same ones, and the second one, slowly. Third one onward, different people. Another funny thing I want to mention, in the Sorcerer's Stone movie, which is in 2001, we were just getting introduced to a visual representation of the wizarding world. But in the books, like, however, like in publishing order, Voldemort just came back. And then The Order of the Phoenix came out in 2003. Which was kind of an off year for the films. We realized the prophecy in the films, however, just ended with them killing Tom Riddle's memory. So yeah, 2005, which was the 2004, off year for the books, on year for the films. We got The Prisoner of Azkaban. 2005! We got the Goblet of Fire movie, finally seeing Voldemort come into shape. We were discovering what Horcruxes were. 2006! I don't think there was a movie in 2006, nor there was a book. 2007! Order of the Phoenix book! We were learning very minimal about the prophecy and meeting the cruel Dolores Umbridge. Books, however! Harry just killed Voldemort. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into the rating system. A golden ticket is an 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10, and a trophy is a 9.5 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. I was struggling with this rating between a 9.5 and a 10 out of 10, but I definitely settled to 1. And the thing about that was that the Voldemort memory thing, this is not a perfect book by any means, but it's so close. So, of course, I give it a 9.5. A trophy, congratulations. Yeah. I only think there have been 2 books I've given golden ticket, which was the first one and The Order of the Phoenix, and all the rest have either gone trophies or absolutely nothing. I actually think I might have given the Prisoner of Azkaban a 9. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so happy and proud of myself, which I am usually humble about. I don't compliment myself usually, but I'm very proud with myself for actually reading, because I was not a reader before this. I watched all the films and I was like, dang, there's a lot that doesn't make sense. So I decided to sit down and read the books for myself. And I'm an auditory learner, so when I read the books, I'm following along with a book in my hands, but I'm also listening to the audiobook by Stephen Fry, which has helped tremendously. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Echo 5 out of 10, congratulations. It's not sentient. But, I don't really have any fun outro or anything, so, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next week. If there's not a different type of video like a movie review, I think I will be reviewing The Deathly Hallows. Today is currently July 24th, and this is probably coming up in the 1st of September. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys soon with Harry Potter and The Deathly Hallows. Which is, I really hope it's the last one. I swear to God, if the cursed child counts, I don't think it's...